Hi everyone, I'm Merritt Kahn, formerly Merritt Guest, and today is Monday, July 1st, 2019, the first day of the second half of this year. And I wanted to take this opportunity to do a video and just kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, because I'm using today as an opportunity for a reset for my own business and my life. And I hope that what I'm going to share with you is a inspiration so that you can hit the reset button for yourself in whatever area of life you are not progressing at the level where you really think you should be at this point. So I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but many times in my life, and when I went to bed last night, I was thinking about, I've been saying I want to do these video blogs for a long time, but I haven't actually recorded one. And I've been saying that I want to spend more time with my son now that we're in the summer and he's off, and he's going to be off to college in a few years, but I didn't put anything on the schedule. And I've been saying it's probably time to get back on track with some of my healthier habits, but I know the right things to do and I haven't been doing them. So I love Mondays for these kind of opportunity. I know Monday gets a bad rap, but I think Monday is that fresh opportunity to restart something. And of course, the first of the month presents another opportunity, and the second half of the year. And I thought, well, okay, thank you, universe, for this message, because all three of those things were happening today. So even though my sound system wasn't perfect, might not be the perfect thing today, because of course I didn't think of this in time to charge the batteries on the little microphone that I would wear to make sure that the sound is crystal clear. Things may not be perfect in this first video, but I know that I will be more accountable to getting this done on a consistent basis, really to serve you, if I put a little pressure on myself and publicly state that you can count on me for a Monday message that will inspire you, teach you something about how you can be more influential, develop your business, grow your sales, really expand on your leadership. And all of those things are not going to be possible if I don't practice what I preach and just get something out there in the spirit of done is better than perfect, which I learned from one of my mentors, Mark LeBlanc, many years ago. And that's really applicable here. So what'll be neat for you as an opportunity to learn and expand is that you're going to see in real time the development. Like next week's video will be better sound quality, and maybe a couple weeks from now my logo will be in one of these corners, and there'll be some opt-in or some offer for a download or something, but none of that exists right now. The important thing today was be in action, because progress is the new perfection. And I didn't make that up. I'm sure I heard that from somewhere, but put in the comments if you know exactly where that came from. Who knows? There's so many teachers in my life, so many people that I've read and watched their videos and read their books and attended their seminars, and sometimes things get jumbled. So as best I can, I will always source my and add reference the credible sources that my learning comes from, my teaching, but progress is the new perfection. Sorry, I don't remember where that one came from. Anyway, one of the things that I really wanted to just do as I launch my new video series, Moments with Merit, I don't know, maybe we'll call it that, maybe we won't. That's not perfect yet either, but so what? The important thing is to start, because this is what matters. And I know that if I start and I can share with you and pull back the curtain on what had me not start, what had me not in action, then maybe that can make a difference for you, and you can start and get your message out there to sell more, to be more influential with other people. And really, everything comes down to that. Everything that I've taught and everything that I've learned for myself and everything that I've taught my clients over the years with my sales training programs, my coaching, my consulting work, my keynote speeches, it's really all been around this idea of the influence mindset. And what I had to come to grips with as we start the second half of this year is I haven't exactly been eating my own dog food. And that's embarrassing. That is not something a coach, a speaker, a consultant wants to admit publicly, because frankly that doesn't make me look very good. And one of the principles that I teach people in my audiences and in my programs is the concept called redecide. Sometimes we set a goal, or we make a decision, or we have a belief that serves us for a particular period of time, or in our lives or in our business. And oftentimes we stick to that particular goal, belief, or decision no matter what. In fact, we've been told that once you set a goal, you stick to it no matter what. Once you declare it publicly, you stick to it no matter what. And honestly, that hasn't always served me in my life. I would wonder if that's always served you in your life, because sometimes new information comes into our life and it has us take a new look at the situation and then make a new decision about whether or not that path that we laid out to achieve that goal or to support that belief or decision is really accurate in light of this new information. So an example of that would be my personal life. So I'm going to peel back the curtain and just share a little bit. Many of you who know me personally know that I was divorced 2 years ago, and in those last years of what had been a challenging marriage, we'll leave it at that, I noticed that the business model that was working for me had me on the road a lot. I mean, a lot. You know, I would do pretty much any training or keynote program or anything that would get me out of the house for a little while. And what I realized later was that just got me out of a difficult situation. Once my ex moved out of the house and it was just me and my son, I started to notice I actually really like being home. And that's not to say I won't get on the road and go do a keynote or a training session when they need my work, and when the program is interesting and the people are the right audience for my message. But it had me relook and redecide my business model, which when I really looked at it, my mission is to bring this message, this influence mindset and mechanics and processes and systems and tools and strategies to be more in motion, to bring that message to an audience that would really put it into action and would be useful and valuable for them. And most of the people in that space, I would call them, they're consultants, they're experts, they're professionals, they're very good at what they do. They're just so frustrated because it really should be easier to get business than it is. And so that's really a key market for me. And when I really looked at, okay, now I want to be home more, but I still want to get this message out, I had to redecide the ways that I was operating inside my business model to be able to fulfill on that mission. And so I started looking at online courses as a delivery model. And I started going back to my roots, which was I had done these 2-day sales training boot camps for more than a decade before I pulled those out of play and went on and hit the road as a keynoter. So now I really looked at, based on the goals and the vision and the lifestyle I was creating, it made sense to go back to some of these things that I used to do regularly to serve people with the message. And so now I've put back into my business model these 2-day intensives designed to help people really expand on their influence mindset and the mechanics of selling and being in motion, and putting all that content into an online platform so that even if I can't get to you, you have access to this content because it's valuable for you and I want to meet you wherever you are with it. So all of that to say, and I don't mean that to sound self-serving, because there's actually no link on here that you could click to learn about anything more at this point. Tune in next week and I'll have that all set up. But really what I had to do was redecide not my vision, my goal, my mission, but redecide my action plan on the way to that vision. So the vision has always been a lifestyle business that really allows me to share my message with many people in order for them to feel more comfortable, more confident, more competent in the ways that they grow and develop their business, their influence with others. And so I realized that really what I needed to do was not redecide what I'm about, not redecide what I teach, but rather redecide the method that I go to market. And that was an important distinction for me. And so I decided, even though everything else isn't in place, like the old me would have said, well, first, before I can do the video series, I should really fix the website. And I should really fix, I should put the finishing touches on the logo. And I should really write all the copy. And I should really figure out all the landing pages and the opt-in offers and all of that. And the email and the automation and the pipe funnels and pipelines. And you know what? What I realized is, yes, I do need to figure all of that out. I do need to build all of that. And that will get built. But most importantly is get into action right now, today, with what I have, with the video system that I have, the way that the things that are good about it, the things that aren't perfect, with the current editing skills that I have or can hire out to get the video out to you so that it looks the best it can be at this stage of the game. No matter what's good, what's better, what's best, it doesn't really matter. What matters is it's out there. And so wherever you are in your journey of being more influential with others and selling more of your genius or your products and services that really are designed to help other people and what they're up to and what's important to them, I'm just going to say, get out there, make today matter, because it is a restart day. And honestly, so is tomorrow. The second, a Tuesday, it doesn't matter. Any day can be your reset day. Redecide, and that's very distinct from changing your mind or flip-flopping and all of that, which doesn't get a good rap. Redeciding is taking into account that new information that's come into your experience that because of that is having you redecide on your game plan to reach that goal. And in some cases it may actually be redeciding the goal or the vision or the mission, but we'll talk about more of that in a future video when those kinds of things are okay and when those things can hurt you instead of help you. For now, I hope that this few minutes just helps you see that at any moment you can redecide and hit the reset button on whatever's not working for you. If it's health, like this morning, I got up and I did my morning stretches. Did I do my power workouts like I used to do at the gym yet? No, I haven't done that yet today. But I started with something. I started with 3 minutes of planks and some morning stretches. I redecided how I'm going to be in action, having that relationship that I want with my son. And tonight we're going to see a movie at Red Rocks, and that's going to be fun, and it's just time with him. And it's better than me woes-meing about, oh, I really am not spending the time I want with him and I really should do more. No, instead I just figured out what can I do right now, today, to be in action, because that's something that's important to me. And in my business, I have a value of consistent and ongoing learning and development. So I was learning, you'll love this, I was learning about dealing with a narcissist. My ex was a narcissist. And I was learning about how to prepare for divorce and a court battle and all of that. And really what that was doing that was keeping my focus on the past. It was keeping me focused on what's not working, what's draining my energy and my enthusiasm and my excitement and what I'm up to. And it was all things that were dragging me back into the past and the challenging relationship that was. Instead, today I woke up and instead of YouTube videos on learning, and I'm no disrespect to the experts and the amazing communities that I've learned from over these past few months in that space, but it was time for me to close that chapter. I learned what I needed to learn. I got validated in how I learned about my experience there. And I think actually it's going to help me in my business, because I have more empathy for people who were in an environment where it wasn't that they didn't believe in themselves, but they were in an environment where there was constant messaging about, you really aren't worth it, and are you enough? I don't think so, and criticism and all of that. And really what that just added to the work that I do with my clients and my students and my programs, which is really all about strengthening that core belief that more is possible, so that you can be in action, so that when you learn those skills, they stick. So I think about it like this, and we'll talk about this in future videos, because this is a core principle that I teach. Is I look at, in terms of being influential out there with others, it really comes down to three things. So there's the influence mindset, that is what we say to ourselves, what our actions say to other people, how well we understand our own emotions and the impact that we have on other people. That's all the mindset component of being more influential with others. First, it starts with understanding what has influence over us. And the second piece of the puzzle is understanding the mechanics of influence, right? That is the what to say and how to say it and when to say it, and all of those things are important, because I can have great course material, but if I can't communicate that clearly to my target audience in a way that resonates with them, that has them want to learn more, it really doesn't make a difference that I'm great at what I do. And so the mechanics of influence are incredibly important. And then in order to be influential out there, you really have to be in motion with that influence, with those principles, whether you have something to teach or a product or service that you're selling. It's being out there in motion, getting it out to those people that can really use it. And so mindset, mechanics, and motion are the core principles of every program that I teach, whether it's the onboarding courses to work with companies to help them bring new people into their culture and get them fully efficient in their role as quickly as humanly possible, or whether it's the programs I deliver for entrepreneurs and professionals, like I said earlier, really good at what they do, but they're just so frustrated because they want more business. So sales and influential programs, or in my keynotes where we really do a deeper dive and get people excited about what's really possible for them when they focus on that influence mindset piece. Because honestly, that is the core of everything. When your mindset is strong, then when you layer those mechanics on top, they're right there for you to access and use. If there are gaps in your belief systems, or you're not clear about how you behave in relationship to other people that might not be wired quite the same way that you are, then those mechanics, those skills that you've learned actually end up falling through the gaps. They're so far down deep that you can't access them when you need them in that moment. So I can teach you questioning techniques, but fundamentally, if there's a gap and you don't believe that you have the self-regard, you won't have the answers, or you don't have the impulse control to hold back long enough to find out why they've asked that question in the first place, then it really doesn't matter that I've taught you great questioning techniques as an example, because they're not going to be there for you unless you strengthen that influence mindset. So that's the first thing I'm going to share with you over the course of some upcoming videos. They won't all be this long, but I guess this was the kickoff one. But in some upcoming videos in this series, I want to really share with you and just help you understand what this influence mindset really is and how you can develop and strengthen yours. Really start to understand, where are you right now with the beliefs that the things that you say to yourself, that internal mind, and then how your actions, what they say to others, that behavioral mind, really understanding that piece, and then the emotional mind. And that's where, we'll draw from my experience and my certification and my training and background in emotional intelligence to really understand how our emotions impact others, and how the better we understand that, the more able we are to be influential with others, because we really understand the powers that have influence over us. So I'm really excited to bring this new series and all of this content to you. Keep in tune, and as I go through this video series, you'll see my website grow and develop, my branding change, just even my name, going back to my maiden name, which is Kahn, K-A-H-N. Really excited because that is just something for me that just helped me shift my own mindset, get back to that time when I felt more confident, more powerful, more grounded. So all these little things that I'm doing in my life to hit the reset